Shalom. First and foremost, I want to give all praises and glory and honor that's due to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Rakakwadash. Double honors to the apostles and elders of the great millstone and rule and teach well, whom I learn the truth. Peace and blessings and salutations to the hopeful elect. Noah's in this gospel broad, lifting up the standard of Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, wherever it may be. This is a lesson through the spirit. This is from Arrows of Indignation. It's called The Beginning of Sorrows, which roughly goes into these ICE raids, which we found out that a lot of these ICE raids are actually being done by actual citizens and not law enforcement. As we know that Trump has deputized, and they were speaking on this. I remember last year, particular governors of these red states were speaking on deputizing citizens to grab migrants, man. And that thing has kind of been like on a hush-hush. But see, what's happening now is that people are rising up and they're protesting these illegal ICE raids, because a lot of times these people are having their freedoms impinged on or impeded on without warrants and due process, and getting totally railroaded in the court systems. And people was like, you know what? Enough is enough, man. You know, enough is enough. People have had it. So with that being said, I got this video. It's actually, damn, it's 9 minutes long. So I'm not going to play the entire 9 minutes. I'm going to kind of interject because I'm actually on the road. So, you know, it serves its purpose. But it shows you here, man, that these Edomites, they about had enough of you tribes, and they're ready to take back something that's been stolen, that they've stolen. They ready to lay their stakes back in it, man. They ready to get rid of all the indigenous people of this land, including you Negroes as well. All right, because what you don't understand is that once they're done brutalizing the northern kingdom, they're gonna come from the southern kingdom. Because remember, all part of Trump's one big beautiful bill, or the big beautiful bill, which is supposed to be mandated July 4th. We don't know the full totality of that bill, to be technically honest with you, and what they want to implement. But you better believe that somewhere, some way, locking you Jakes up off the books is part of it. Project 2025, man. So yeah, we're in a time now of Jacob's trouble, getting ready to hit this place in full force, to say the least. Because Yahweh Shem Yahweh Shai, he's speeding up the judgment, man. You know, but in the midst of that, there's going to be confusion, chaos, civil unrest, because there will be retaliation against what's happening, because we're saying that Edomites are rising up in Jake's, protesting the illegal dealings of ICE, going back into Trump's deputizing of making the neighborhood safe, meaning that basically cops have immunity over you to do what they want to do, and giving the citizens their own rights and jurisdictions to police you Jakes. So, yes, not looking too good for the average person of color, to say the least. You know. So anyway, I'm gonna play a couple of minutes of this video. We're gonna get a couple of precepts, and that'll be that.
Officers. Let me repeat that again. They are wearing masks because they are not actually federal law enforcement officers. They are...
Right. Now, I remember the other day the elder from Cali did a lesson on it, and he exposed the fact that why these guys looking like Call of Duty mascots, man. You know, why they look like privatized militias if they're supposed to be deputized law enforcement through the government, right? Through ICE, which is basically a government agency, right? Why they're wearing masks? Because for the simple fact, a lot of them can literally live in your neighborhoods. A lot of them could be your school teachers. A lot of them could be your doctors. A lot of them could be your bosses at work. A lot of them could be Marty from bingo night or whatever, you know? And, hey, it shows, man. Because the scriptures say one people should rise up against another, and sword should be in their hands. So we're seeing the start of a civil unrest, man. Because this ain't gonna continue to go unaccounted or unanswered. Okay, eventually people are gonna get enough of it, and they're gonna start busting back. And that's exactly what Esau wants, man. Okay, he wants a situation that's going to create order out of chaos, man. You see?
Local white supremacist groups that are volunteering their services to take out brown people. This man was spotted in the ICE raid in Minneapolis today. The vast majority of those agents, whether they were ICE, DHS, AFT, or local police, were unmapped.
Here to follow the law, to come here to renew the work permit, to come here to get asylum, and we're abducted by the Proud Boys and the KKK. I am not afraid to tell them in their faces who they are. That's who they are. And the press, you saw their tactics. How the Chicago Police Department takes no issue on these Gestapo individuals coming and stepping on an elected official.
Well, that's easy, my man. It's because they're all part of it. The KKK, the Proud Boys, you know, these racist militia groups, they're all in tandem with one another, man. Okay, have you ever thought about that maybe the police, the fire department, and all these other, these militias are all part of the same cabal or same cult? Okay, just because a Edomite wears a blue outfit with a badge or a black, you know what I'm saying, what they call the blue wall of silence, just because they wear that doesn't make them not racist, bro. Like a lot of these cops are KKK. Like the boxing gym I go to, the head boxing coach, he's a retired firefighter. He's actually a known, forgot his name, his last name, I think it's Craig. I think he actually fought in Europe and shit like that. You know, I think he was one of the all-time greats in his class. You know, he's been boxing for like 30, 40, 50 years, something like that. But he's a retired firefighter. And they got something which is called Guns and Hoses. And basically it's a competition between firefighters and the police force. And they're getting together and they're training the firefighters and the cops on how to box. And a lot of the firefighters that I train with, I mean, they could be Jakes, you know, but a lot of them are Edomites too. Like Coach Craig, he's a Jake. He's an Irishman, okay? You can just tell he's definitely a Jake. He got that flavor to him. But nonetheless, you got a lot of Edomites in there learning how to box. And you got women in there too. You see what I'm saying? And why you think they learning that? Them cops and them firefighters, because, hey, they want to use it on you Jakes. You know, why you Jakes are smoking lean and all pilled out and all into this trap music and drill music and not doing anything productive with your time and energy. They're training for you, man. You know, they're in there getting gully in the gym, and you Jakes out here just living it up, man. They're training the plumbing you into the concrete. If you haven't noticed. So it's getting ready to get real bad for our people, real sticky, real soon. You know, and I got a quick precept. It's the book of Jeremiah 6, and I'm gonna start at verses 20. Matter of fact, let's start at verses 21. It says, "Therefore, thus says the Lord, behold, I will lay a stumbling block before this people." This people is talking about the children of Israel. All right, and it says, "And the fathers and the sons together shall fall upon them, and the neighbor and his friend shall perish." Yeah, because as a conglomerate, they're gonna raid your neighborhoods. You know, they're gonna entrench you, close certain things off. They're gonna close off certain resources, man. Okay, you already defunded, all right? Because you got Jakes out here talking about generational wealth when generational wealth doesn't exist among niggas, because niggas, they selfish. It's just what it is. You can't have generational wealth, all right? Because you're too covetous. That's why reparations would be a bad idea. Honestly speaking, I would never give Jake reparations, man, because you wouldn't do the right thing with it. Okay, you would literally go and murder your own kind just to take what he got, and we've all got, you know, an exceptional amount of money. Well, why he get $100 more than me? What do he do more? You know, just stupid, dumb shit. You know, you dudes are not conducive. Come on, y'all, what's going on? All right, let me get over. Tina. All right, so, and it says here, and they shall lay hold on bow and spear. That's the modern day gun. Bow and spear weapons, right? It says, and are cruel and have no mercy, and that voice roar like the sea, and they ride upon horses, array as men of war against thee, O daughter of Zion. So those militias coming against you to basically have their way with you, man. Have your way with the women, with the kids. And that's the reality of this whole thing that you're experiencing. Okay, while you Northern Kingdom, the Northern Kingdom don't know what the hell is going on, man. Okay, only thing they know is Jesus Christos or in Guadalupe and Virgin Mary and Carnitas. That's all that they care about. They don't know nothing else outside that Jesus is a so-called white man. That's all they want to know, man. But that so-called white man who they love so much is actually detaining them and busting them upside the head. This is why the scriptures tell Ephraim, as roughly paraphrasing, I think it's in Hosea, as it says that Ephraim should bring forth his children or seed to the murderers. You Northern Kingdom is realizing that the so-called white man is the devil. And a lot of you still don't really realize it, man. You just look at it like, well, that just them. All white people ain't bad. Well, you finna find out you finna find out the hard way.
Who did they protect and who did they serve? These are people who came to renew the work permits and were abducted. I'll give you a few cases. Now we have a mother who came in here to renew the work permit. We have a 10-year-old boy now without a mother. Shame. Who is going to take care of that mother now? Or that child? So if you think that this does not concern you, let me tell you something else. These Proud Boys, these Gestapo cowards who come to our city to stand on people's rights, you know what it does when they're doing it? Because they're getting bonuses to do it. Your tax dollars are paying $42,000 per Proud Boy to conduct these shameful actions. $1 billion?
And you American people are dumb as all hell, man. If you knew that your tax dollars was funding a raid upon people that ain't really, upon a bunch of people that's literally to themselves funding the damn genocide, why the hell you still going to work every day? Okay, why haven't you people rose up and protest? They already proved it with the Doge shit, which you got Trump and Elon Musk at odds. He's basically exposed Trump and said that Trump is basically on the Epstein list. This is why they're not going to release the list, which I think is all capped. I think they ain't going to release the list because a lot of more important names on there. Okay, it's not above the surprise that Trump name is on there. I mean, I've said Trump name was on there. It's pretty obvious at this point. But anyway, you people have literally funded your own destruction when it came to the C-19, okay, transgender research, experiment on animals, literally $20 billion in taxpayers' money, and yet you people still wake up and you run this rat race every day, and you're not even attempting to even get some type of retribution for yourself, man. And everybody in the world is telling you stupid pinata head Americans that the only way you're gonna see some type of justice in this country is if you start a revolution. But you're not gonna do that until they take away everything from you, okay? Because you're afraid, well, what they gonna take? Regret? You ain't got nothing now. And the minute you don't do nothing, they still gonna take away shit you ain't got, man. So either way it go, you're done. You're through. We just waiting on you people because you're holding it up for us because we ready to get the hell up out of here. We ready for your Howard Shaw to come back. But as long as you people sit back and do nothing and don't get anything turned up, then we got to sit here and suffer this rat race like the rest of you bums out here, man. All right? I don't know about the rest of y'all, but I'm sick of you people, man. All right? You people you're just a real nuisance at this point. And I'm trying to choose my words wisely. I'm trying to get out of the habit of using a lot of obscene language, which at the end of the day, man, it's the spirit. If the spirit had me to use certain language, then it is what it is. But we understand that there's a balance to everything too. So
to pay these shameful individuals, I call on these masked individuals to unmask themselves. Unmask yourself if you are so proud of what you're doing. Unmask yourself. We saw how many mothers came in. Almost 20 people, working people, being treated as criminals. The real criminals are in the White House.
So let me put this simpler, since TikTok is restricting every single post I put out. If governors do not deploy their National Guard to secure their city streets, there will be armed rebellion all across the nation. The intimidation and the violence is escalating, perpetrated by Homeland Security, FBI, DEA, and ATF. And people are starting to push back. And contrary to what Homeland Security, Kristi Noem, and eventually Carolyn Leavitt will tell you, This pushback has been mostly peaceful so far, but we are literally living on top of a powder keg. And my request to the governors who command control of their National Guard is to de-escalate what is currently being escalated by the federal government, to prevent an armed rebellion. And to be frank, the governors should have done this 4 months ago. The moment that HSI, DEA, FBI, ATF, and mass unknown accomplices were seen abducting people off of the street with no judicial warrant and trapping immigrants.
Right, impeding on your freedoms. You know, you're supposed to do things to, in order for you to grab people off the streets, you gotta have a warrant to do that. They showed you that in that movie, I think it was Day Zero or Zero Day with, what's this guy's name? Robert De Niro, when it was about the cyber attack. They was grabbing people off the streets without warrant, and they said that's illegal as hell. You can't just grab people off the streets without warrants, but they do it anyway because they know the average person is afraid to give any type of fight back, man. They don't want to give any type of kickback on that because they're afraid of going to jail, or they're just afraid. These people, they just lost it. These people are weak. You know?
In court while they're going through the legal process to secure their residency. Because when peaceful revolution is impossible, violent revolution is inevitable. So do your duty, governors, and try to de-escalate violence. Support and defend the Constitution against enemies foreign and domestic.
So let me get another preset real quick. Psalms 90, I think it's 94. Yep, Psalms 94. And I'm gonna start at verses 20. It says, "Shall the throne of iniquity have fellowship with thee, which frameth mischief by law?" Right? Okay, and they are framing mischief by law because basically they're stating that these people came across the border illegally, and now they had to be rounded up. But wait a minute, if you're gonna come and round them up, what's the whole purpose of bringing them over here in the first place if that was your whole intent? Which shows you that that was all a ploy to be able to justify the Israelites, man. Because at the end of the day, it's about it's about destroying our people. I mean, they would set up laws and write laws just to target and home in on Jake, man. Because this is how they feel about us. And it says, "They gather themselves together against the sword of the righteous and condemn innocent blood. But the Lord is my defense, and my power is the rock of my refuge, and he should bring upon them their own iniquity, and should cut them off in their own wickedness. Yea, the Lord Yahweh should cut them off," right? So now we're seeing people that kind of fight back a little bit. They protesting, they pushing back a little bit. But for this to even make any noise to get on civil war status, everybody got to, I mean, these people in general across the 50 provinces, they gonna have to rise up and they gonna have to do something about it, man. Which eventually it will get to that point. You know, once economic stability continues to manifest itself and banks and so forth continue to collapse and go offline and people lose their livelihoods, that's when people are going to start to act out. Okay, because the average American has the mindset, well, you know, as long as it doesn't happen to me and I don't see no type of residual damage from it, then it don't apply to me. Okay, these people are for self. You know, they can literally see their neighbor across the street getting thrown out or getting totally brutalized, but as long as it don't come near their doorstep, then, you know, they like, well, they ain't got nothing to do with me. You know, even though the scriptures say, meddle not in matters which concern thee not. But still, you know, there's a such thing as a Samaritan law, you know, in America at least.
Shame! Back up! Yeah, back up! Back up!
And these are Edomites fighting back. But if these were Jakes, because these are not actually law enforcement. Like, you can go to a tactical store and you can buy a vest that says police on it. You can buy SWAT gear. You can buy all this shit offline, man. And most of them already got weapons. Most Edomites are armed to the teeth anyway. You know, so Esau can literally act as his own private militia because he has the arsenal to do so. But if this was a group of Jakes protesting this illegal behavior, I guarantee you they just would have opened up fire. They would have, you know, there would have been resistance all across the board. You know, and they would have just went in and they would have tried to clean house on Jake, because Jake don't have a right to defend themselves among a group of entitled bigots, man.
Shame!
And eventually, they're not going to back off. Eventually, they're just going to open up fire. See, the reason why they're not really opening up fire on you people right now is because you still have what they call habeas corpus intact. But once all the laws and once everything is pretty much off the books, ain't going to be no protesting out there with signs and pumping fists. And it's going to be literally gunplay. Okay, it's going to come to a point you're going to stand before one of these troops and they just going to unload on you, man. That's the type of time we coming into. And these women ain't gonna be that bold either.
That's right.
Yeah, you can't do that to people, bro. You just can't go and raid people's shit and vandalize their property because you think they shouldn't be here. If anything, you the one that should be grabbed up by a opposing force and shipped out of the country because you the one that stole this land unjustly, my dude. All right. One last precept here. I'm actually at my destination. Second Ezra 16, and I'm going to start verses 67. It says, Behold, Yahweh himself is the judge. But fear him and leave off from your sins and forget your iniquities, to meddle no more with them forever. So shall the Most High lead you forth and deliver you from all trouble. So the elect, we're going to be delivered from this said judgment, man. All right, because technically this is happening because you tribes are in error towards Yahweh Bashim Yahushai. Okay, you are in error, and the Lord has a controversy against the inhabitants of Zion, man. Okay, because you didn't broke the commandments, and basically you told the Most High to go F himself. So the Most High is sending the tenets of this damn devil upon you, man. And it says, For behold, the burning wrath of a great multitude is kindled over you, and they should take away certain of you and feed you, being idle with things offered to idols. Yeah. And they building a lot of detention centers here. The ones they already got, and they're building some more. Like Trump wanted a proposal plan to build these camps along the border, so therefore he can just detain you and eventually put that chip in you, because ultimately they end goal, they want to chip every man, woman, and child on this planet Earth, predominantly the Israelites. Okay, but they want to chip the entire world. But the main target is you Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans. All right. And it says here, and they that consented to them should be had in derision and reproach and trodden under foot. It says, For there should be in every place and in the next cities a great insurrection upon those that fear the Lord. And we're seeing that. We're seeing a great insurrection on a small scale by these ICE agents and these actual citizens acting as deputized agents to go into these neighborhoods and detain you, man. Okay, I mean, this could literally be Jimmy Jew working at the local Kroger's grocery store. Man, he can literally be the store manager by day and raiding by night. Okay, you can literally have to spend money in this dude's store buying groceries for your family, and then he come kicking your door, acting like he's some type of FBI or ICE agent. You know, and it says, and they should be like madmen, sparing none, but still spoiling and destroying those that fear the Lord. It says, For they shall waste and take away their goods and cast them out of their houses. Then they should be known who are my chosen, and they should be tried as gold in the fire. Because, hey, they're going to know who the elect is at the end of the day. But hear, O ye my beloved. Hear ye my beloved, says Yahweh. And behold, the days of trouble are at hand, but I will deliver you from the same. So be ye not afraid, neither doubt, for the Most High is your guide. So we ain't got to doubt, bro. You know, we just got to stay firm, stay the course, stay locked in, stay focused. And the Most High is going to make sure we get through this, man. All right? Because when you go down to Isaiah 10:5, it says, O Assyrian, the rod of my anger and a staff in their hand is my indignation. He says, I will send them against a hypocritical nation, and against the people of my wrath would I give him a charge to take the spoil and to take the prey and to tread them down like the mire of the street. So pulling you out of your houses and your vehicles, busting you up, throwing you head first in prison, all right, taking away your rights, raping your women, separating your children. This is all part of the plan, all right? But it says here, I think that's it on that. Yep, that's it on that. Tread them down like the mire of the streets. Yep, Khan. So yeah, that's pretty much it on that. So I'm gonna end it. Giving all praises and glory and honor that's due to Yahweh Bashim Yahweh Shai. Lord's will, you are edified. Until the next lesson. Shalom.
Mi abogada viene en camino.
Pero, disculpe, ¿tiene una orden? ¿Tienen una orden? ¿Me puedo ir? Ah, bueno, que lo haga, por puto. Ya, ahí.
I can't reach it, it's up by her. Here you go.